And we are off. So yeah, how are things in Philly right now?
They're all right. Chilling. Nice day today. Clear skies. Uh, Spent the Saturday just running some errands with the lady. Went grocery shopping right before we got home, and now I'm
Nice.
talking to you.
So what do the typical day to day look like for you? Because I mean, what do you do for a job? Like, I'm
I am a general manager for an eye doctor's office.
amazing. Okay, I've
Yeah,
never heard that one before.
yeah. It's almost this year will be 9 years that I've worked at this location. It's family owned, so that's nice. I'm not working for like big corporate office or anything. And the owners have two different locations. So Monday
Okay,
through Friday gig, I get out a fairly decent time, usually between 5 and 7 p.m. every day.
and
So
7 p.m. Okay,
yeah,
okay. So I mean, is there any like flexibility? Because I mean, sure, you're kind of ramping up with shows, and
yes, yeah. So usually Fridays are tough. Most shows are Friday, Saturdays, but
yeah,
um, again, family owned. So I've been there a long time. I've kind of earned my stripes there a little bit. So they're pretty understanding and chill about shows if I have to leave early. I had to leave early last week for another call, and they were cool. I had to leave like an hour early. It was fine. So
okay, yeah. Because I mean, if I'm not mistaken, you guys just started playing like outside of your local area in the last year.
yes, yeah. Last year, it was around September. We did a weekend run with Modern Culture, and they're also
Okay.
like local Philly boys. And we hit up Pittsburgh, Boonton, New Jersey, and DC.
Nice, okay.
So
I mean, how has that been? Like, has it been kind of, like, a little easier, tougher to navigate since you guys are kind of, like, probably well established in your day-to-day careers or
yeah, it can be tough as long as we all have ample time. Honestly, the toughest part is booking the
Yeah,
booking weekenders. It seems like most venues need a minimum of 6 months now to even get
right.
like locked in. That's the hardest part.
Yeah,
So,
because I mean, you're looking at, like, 300 cap venues-ish.
uh, I would say between 80 to 100, 80 to 200. That's
Okay,
generally where we kind of
yeah.
sit right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine going out right now with, gas being what it is and
Oh,
just the costs of it because I mean, you're probably coming home just breaking even as it is.
yeah, we actually did the math. A lot of guys in our band, specifically Steven and Rob, they love the statistics as far as like looking at money and like using an Excel spreadsheet for expenses.
Yeah.
And we did just break even on our weekend run.
Yeah, I imagine it's a little bit harder to explain to your other half where it's like, "Yeah, we went out and it was awesome, but we are in the red by $1,000."
She's actually super supportive, and she pretty much runs all of our merch and everything. So she's very involved.
Okay.
Runs meaning like organizes the bin, runs it at shows, helps package orders with online stuff. But she's very much involved and has gone to local shows her whole life, and so she's really understanding about it.
That's super
So
sick. Have you
yeah,
guys ever been confused for the hardcore band Dead Wrong out of Connecticut?
no, we've never been confused with them, but we have had uh, interaction with them online. Those guys are awesome. Their music's great, but confused with them? No, I haven't run into that yet. Yet, yeah.
Yeah, because 'cause I'm
So
wondering, like, how is the, legal side of that working out? Like, where you guys are both the same name. Do you need to, like,
I don't know.
add a PA at the end or
Yeah, I don't really know. I honestly can't answer that. I don't know how the legal works with that. I feel like there's a lot of bands out there that have run into that before though, but I feel like it's on a much larger scale. I feel
Right,
like we're all kind of on that smaller scale. So, and I know I know they took a long hiatus for a while, and
right.
then they kind of just came out with something in 2023. I have nothing but mad respect for those guys. But when we came out like with Dead Wrong, if I'm being completely, I didn't know who they were. I had no idea. It wasn't until they made a comment on a post about like, oh, like shit, same name, like. But other than that, I'd never heard of them, but they rock. They're awesome
Yeah,
dudes.
I would imagine, like, that was probably be the same case where they're kind of in a similar space as you guys are, where they just kinda do their thing and then keep on keeping on, but as you guys kind of are coming up on the upswing here, I mean, that might be something that ends up being, "Hey, we are dead wrong, PA."
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how that works. So,
Man, I was reading, so did you grew up in a fairly religious household? Is that correct?
yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
did.
Were you deep into the Tooth and Nail and Solid State catalog?
Yes.
Okay. I had
Yeah,
to ask because I feel like we're similar age range in our 30s, and, if you grew up in that kind of ecosphere, it's like that was, like, the go-to, where if it's like, "Oh, you really wanna listen to 311? Well, you can. You can listen to PAX 217."
oh my god, yeah, I never got into those guys, but, um, I did grow up in, like, going to, like, do you remember Creation Fest?
I did.
Yeah,
I've seen quite a few bands in that sphere over the years. Like, I mean, MXPX, The Showdown,
yeah,
who
MXPX
else?
rocks. They're
Dude,
awesome.
MXPX does rock. They
Yeah.
are continuing to crush and do their thing for, I wanna say it's coming up on 30 years now.
Oh, wow, yeah. They've been in it, they're like OGs in, like, the pop punk community of, like, the '90s and early 2000s, and, I would label, them as, and I wasn't really into them around that time frame. It wasn't until the last, like, 5 years that I kinda listened to them, and that's
Really?
because yeah, and funny enough, that's because the owner of where I work loves them,
That's amazing.
loves their music, so he introduced me to them, and I was like, "Yeah, these guys are killer." So, it's cool to see
Yeah,
them staying active, you know?
it's crazy, like, how you look back on some of those times, like, "What the heck?" Did you ever dive into that documentary on Amazon Prime? It was the, Happy Shiny People, where they were, like, looking back on some of, like, the youth rally events that happened in the
No.
2000s, and it was like, "What in the world?" And it was super, like, Christian nationalist, and, like,
Wow.
they had bands play, in the we like, what's, Pillar? Remember Pillar?
I do remember them, but
But yeah, like, they would play,
that's wild.
and yeah, it was very like, "We have got to take the culture. It is super important."
I don't know about this documentary. I'd love to watch it though. It sounds interesting. And it's
Yeah,
just
it's
about that kind of like Christian rock,
yeah, it's like it's very, like,
tooth and
in a
nail
very
record
neat,
era.
tooth and nail adjacent,
Okay.
but it was very, like, niche and for its time. It was, like, late '90s, early to mid 2000s. There was an organization running it that has since fizzled out, but, like,
Hmm.
that was their whole ethos. It's like, "We've gotta take the culture back," and, like, they would, have this culmination and play a band would play on the 2nd day of a weekend, and bam! Like, was that your experience growing up? Was it for, like, super nationalist or, like, super extremist, or was it more, like, subtle, or
So I grew up in a fairly like contemporary church.
okay.
So it was a Christian church, Nazarene to be exact.
Mhm.
So it wasn't really culty, but outside looking in now, like all these years later, I see why outside looking in people can look at it like, oh, it's kind of weird. It's kind of culty and like, everybody's like hugs and loves and this and that. Cause you're still like a part of a community,
Mhm.
and that community can kind of give off a weird vibe, I guess, or a drink the juice vibe. um, I am kind of glad that I experienced the world outside of that community. And that
Yeah.
was kind of when I was like 21, 22. I really kind of branched out of that. So,
So
and
what was
I'm
it like
34 now.
so,
So 12
close,
years.
yeah, okay. So, yeah, it's like, I mean, it's recent, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah, I know a lot of friends that they kind of got out of it in like middle school and high school. They were like
Yeah.
getting out of it, but I was still very much involved. in like my early 20s. It wasn't until like 21 I moved to
That's
like Florida at that age and lived alone with 4 guys my age, and I was also in a band at that time. And
yeah.
so I just kind of lived my life and observed other people's lives outside of that. And I guess you could say I developed my own opinions. It's not something I grew up in or wasn't surrounded by it 24/7. So
Now, I gotta say, like, there's certain bands from the Tooth and Nail Solid State world that have aged very, very nicely. Like, one of those examples being Project 86.
Project 86.
Incredible age with one. Like, it's awesome. Like, they had such a fantastic run from the very start in, like, the late '90s, pretty much all the way until most recently in, like, 2023.
Hmm,
They were signed to a major, got dropped, picked up by Tooth and Nail Solid State, and just went after it.
that's
Um,
sick.
I mean, good god, like, the whole idea is questioning the system and, like, you
Yeah,
know, evil and darkness. It was the best. Like, I would still drop everything and go see them if they played near me.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
They're called
I mean, what
Project 86.
Project 86.
Feel bad, like all these bands you're listening, like I've never heard of these guys, but I was into the Tooth and Nail time frame, maybe just a different. I don't know. Project 86. I'm adding these to my
Yeah.
list here.
I recommend Songs to Burn Your Bridges By. That was a 2004 release.
Oh yeah, that was like first one recommended on Spotify.
Yeah,
Like it's like at the
The
top.
Spy Hunter has a fantastic video to it.
It's awesome. All
That
right, I
was
had
at the
that
time where
saved.
they used to release, like, the DVDs with the music videos on them.
Yes, that was cool. Cool time.
Yeah, I mean, you got Project 86, but you also have bands that have branched out. I mean, shout out August Burns Red, who was like,
Yep.
that and Under Oath and Devil Wears
Mm-hmm.
Prada. Those are all solid state heavyweights.
Yeah.
We got Haste the Day coming back with a new record.
What?
Yeah, Haste
Wow.
the Day just came with a new song. I didn't want to say a couple days ago.
That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, so it's you know,
Yeah,
even there's certain bands from that world that are still kind of doing things here and there. I mean,
it's really
you
cool.
got 1,000 Foot Crutch still doing things here and there.
Yeah. Devil Wears Prada's on tour with 4 Years Strong, I think, right now.
That is correct. I just
Yeah.
saw Devil Wears Prada on the Emo's Not Dead cruise recently.
Oh, that's sick. How were they?
They were incredible. There is
Yeah.
nothing like seeing a band like that at 11:30 at night in an at capacity venue
Oh, yeah.
where people are actively trying to get in and they cannot.
Wow. That's
The
insane.
the first night they played at like 12:45 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
They were playing a throwback set, and
Jeez.
I physically could not make it to the set. I was like, I'm done.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever cruised before, you kind of know how exhausting it
Never.
is. But, like, dude, it's the best.
I always hear
Cruising
that.
cruising is fan freaking tastic.
Yeah, I gotta get out there and cruise, man.
Yeah,
Been
man.
hearing my whole life. Gotta do it.
I gotta say, if you or anyone else is on the fence, Emo's Not Dead has some spots left. We had about 100 spots before it's sold out.
And Emo is Not Dead is a
That's Matt Cutshaw's company.
okay. I was going to say that's Matt, like a Matt Cutshall thing, but I wasn't entirely
Mhm.
sure, and I didn't want to seem like an idiot. But
Yeah, dude,
um,
it's been banger after banger over the last, like, year. I mean, this year you got the Wonder Years, you got Yellow
wow.
Card, you got
Oh,
Let Live, you got, all sorts of. I mean, it's man, I'm
that's
very,
awesome.
very excited for it. You got Inner Shikari.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Don Broco.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just it's all over the place. I mean, it's gonna be one of those things where you think you're gonna have downtime, but you wake up and you just go, 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 and you have 20,000 steps by the end of the day.
that's awesome. I
Yeah.
also love that Matt Cutshall specifically he's really taken the whole music thing and just kind of went with it. Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
started out as like funny videos, but now it's like, no, this is like a serious passion of mine, and like I'm gonna do this thing, and I think it's really cool to see how it's flourished into what it is now. So it's pretty
Yeah, I
cool.
mean, him and the whole team works super hard. really putting out relevant content too, and it's funny, like, he's such a cool guy.
He seems like it in interviews and
Yeah.
stuff I've seen. Like, I've been watching him since like the Vine. Do you remember Vine, the app Vine?
Yeah. God.
So I
That
followed
feels
him
like
on
such a long time
there.
ago.
That was like 2012,
Yeah.
2013. So yeah, it's cool.
But man, you have a debut album out right now.
Yep. Yeah.
How does
Been
that
a
feel? That
week.
came out, gosh, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago?
It was 8 days ago, so
8
just
days
over a
ago.
week. It was
Yeah.
Friday the 3rd.
And so
But how's
far, it
it
seems
feel?
like the response has been great. I mean,
Yeah, it's been amazing. I honestly, I don't think we could have asked for a better release. It's just been insane to see the response and all the comments, the replies, the kind words, the merch store just exploded. It was amazing. Like the
awesome.
overwhelming support was phenomenal. So I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I mean, you guys released this, like, kind of along the way since, like, summer of 2023?
Yes, that's when Jaded came out. It was the summer of 2023.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people, including myself, first discover the band through that kind of process where I think it might have been like a Jaded or something else that popped up at the end of a playlist I was listening to where it's like, hey, you were listening to State Champ's playlist. Now it's going to be this song.
Yeah.
Has that been the case for a lot of people that you've talked to or?
Yes. And so Spotify playlists or discovery mode, TikTok. We had a video just like blew up one day,
Really?
just randomly. Yeah, it got. I don't even know. I could tell you the exact numbers, but it just for whatever reason, TikTok's algorithm was like, "Hey, we like this video, and we're going to just push it to everybody." And we were like, "Okay."
Isn't that funny how
um,
that works?
it is, but it got 240,000 views, about 20K, 21,000 likes, and about 1,300 comments, and it was just a clip of the intro of us playing in Rob's basement, just practicing.
Amazing.
And
And are you able to see like people that followed because of that particular video or
I mean, on TikTok, yeah, but I
yeah,
don't. There's no like stats showing like how it's translating over to like other platforms.
for sure. I mean, no, Instagram is like, hey, people followed you from this reel, which is
Yeah,
always nice to see.
that is cool. I do
Yeah.
love Instagrams is the coolest, I think, as far as like showing stats like that.
hmm But what led to you guys taking that long of a timeline to finally release the album in its entirety? You know, it's like a
Just
2.5
life.
year. Yeah. Okay, I
Yeah.
figured as much.
Yeah, I mean, we're all like we're on our 30s, and like our drummer Dan has two beautiful kids, and he's married.
hmm
Rob, Rob was going through career transition, and he had some health issues as well. I don't want to air out his stuff, so I'll just
No.
say that. And then Steven is in multiple projects. And he also is a producer now, so he kind of
hmm
works with other bands. And again, full-time jobs. It's tough to focus on just this project. And also we wanted to do it right. We were
hmm
like, let's get all of our ducks in a row, and we could have released it last year. We could have last summer. That was the August, but it ended up being April. But it just wasn't. It would have been a rushed release, and we wouldn't have as cool of a vinyl as we did now. And yeah, it just wouldn't have been right.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So looking back, just no regrets whatsoever.
not at all. I would not have changed the timeline whatsoever. So I'm glad we waited, and we're already we already have new stuff.
That's what I wanted to know because I feel like, you were done in the middle of last year, you said, so you must be sitting on, like, just different ideas or riffs or just
Yeah.
concepts. I mean, is there anything that you're kind of working on that's really dramatically different from what you just put out or
Yeah, I would say we have one song that's completely done,
Mhm.
and we actually went somewhere to get it done.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
We will eventually announce that. For now, it's a little hush hush, but um, and it has, I wouldn't say dramatically, but that definitely you can hear the maturity, you know,
Yeah.
as a band does, matures over time. But I'm really excited for this new sound and these new songs that Dead Wrong is working on. We're actually going back to this studio
Mhm.
this summer to work on two more songs.
Interesting.
Um,
Okay.
so I'm very excited to
I
show the
gotta
world
ask, so, like,
that.
what was your favorite part about kind of the overall process of writing and recording this album, though?
Writing and recording this album, man. I mean, that is my favorite part, is just being in the studio and writing.
Mhm.
If I had to pick one thing to do, like between like live shows and social media, it's writing and like being in the studio. That's my favorite part. So I would say just those late nights and those long weekends at Steven's apartment,
Yeah.
and we were just being creative. And Rob would come over sometimes, or Dan would come over sometimes, and then like we would hash out ideas like at practice together.
Mhm.
But I would say overall favorite was just those weekends. Like I would just sleep over Steven's apartment for like the weekend, and we would work on a song or maybe two songs, and we might get a chorus done. We might get one verse done, because sometimes it takes that long. And also, I'm kind of I'm super picky. I'm kind of a perfectionist with writing like our stuff, and so is Steven. Steven's the same way. So if we didn't like something, it's scrapped. See you
Yeah.
later. We're gonna start over, or we rewrite a part. But yeah, definitely the writing at Steven's place was my favorite part about this entire process.
And that's cool, though. I mean, it's like the time spent together, really just kinda builds the bond and,
Yeah,
you know, keeps
we
things
had
moving
that.
on.
Like
Yeah. I
we've
mean,
had
because
that for years.
you've known each other for, like, how many years?
So that band in Florida I mentioned earlier, me and Steven used to be in another band.
Okay.
And we've just ever since we met each other, which was like 2011 to August 2011, 2010. Um, we just clicked. It was just, I could sit there and go, what would sound cool here is like maybe a slow build. And he's like, I'm thinking the same thing. We just had that. We just have a very similar way of writing, and how similar way of how we digest like writing and what to do and structure, themes. So it's always been my favorite thing to do is write. And so it's good to have somebody that you can connect to on a
Mhm.
similar level that way. That's hard to find. It's really hard to find somebody like that. Um, so yeah, we've known each other a long time.
I thought it was really so you recorded it in Steven's apartment. That's
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, for the most part, I would assume.
Yeah, the most part's correct, because the drums, they're live drums, they're real drums.
Mhm.
And that was all done in Dan's basement. So Dan already kind of had invested in some microphones, because Dan does post like on his own socials and has throughout the years. So he already
Mhm.
kind of had like a decent drum mic setup. So everything on the record is Dan, and in his basement on his drum set, live mics. Steven recorded that, and yeah, really happy about that too, because I know it's hard to do that. A lot of people will
Yeah, of
program
course.
drums, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with programming drums. I'm not talking down about that. I've
Mm-mm.
programmed drums. Um, but it's cool to kind of level it up a bit that way and use real drums.
Yeah. I just think it's the idea that it's really cool that you guys can track inside of a literal apartment and garage
Right?
and put out the product that you guys did. I mean, Steven did a fantastic job,
Yeah,
producing, mixing, mastering. I was really, really impressed when I first heard that. I was like, "What? And they
he's a
did this in
natural.
an apartment too?" Like,
Yeah,
I can't even imagine what that would have been like.
amazing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's crazy, but to think about it, but it was just on his gaming PC.
What?
Tracked everything on his gaming PC using Reaper. That's what we use for everything. Reaper's free. We don't use Pro Tools or Logic or Cubase or like any of the big names. There's so many other avenues you can take now, or other companies out there that are free to use. And he just Steven is like so good at teaching himself things, you know? So he just really delved into it, like into like 2020, like around when COVID hit, 2021. And he just kind of obsessed over it and became really good at it. And yeah, everything was done in his spare bedroom of his apartment. And then the closet was where I tracked vocals, literally just a closet. It was a storage closet. Um, and all the guitars are like they were DI originally, and
Mhm.
then when Rob joined the band, we actually used real amps and like mic'd amps at Rob's house. So a lot of it's DI and live amps. So
So you mean to
yeah,
tell me at, like, no point in the process whatsoever, there was no complaints from neighbors?
no, surprisingly not.
Wow.
Funny enough, that's funny you brought that up. Had to mute there for a sec, but the neighbor that was bordering the spare bedroom wall in Steven's apartment, he was a single guy, maybe like 38, 40 years old, so he wasn't much older than us.
Mhm.
And he was a big fan. He's like, dude, I
What?
love your guys' music. Um, and you know, sometimes we would take breaks in between writing and tracking and like take Steven's dog outside, you know, and we'd run into his neighbor. And he'd be like, oh, you guys are sounding great tonight. I love whatever it is you're working on. We would cut it off at 10. That was the only
Yeah,
thing he asked. He's like, do you guys like around 10 o'clock? Is that cool? Because he's like, I got to go to bed. We're like, yeah, sure. That's fine. You know? But we even practiced in Rob's basement, drums, amps, you know, stuff like that. And we haven't had, as far as I know, Rob hasn't said anything. We haven't had any complaints the last couple of years regarding that. So we've been very fortunate. Yeah.
that's actually incredible because yeah, I mean, you had all these elements line up the right way where neighbor's
Hmm.
fine, property manager's fine, I mean,
Yeah. We didn't
God.
always start out that way though. Like when the band first started in January of 20, well, like when Rob and Dan were like finally like, hey, these guys are in the band, like they're members of the band now. And we used to actually play at a practice space
Okay,
because Rob and his girlfriend, they bought a house. And then it was like, hey, you guys want to come jam here? And we tried it out and it wasn't a problem. And we usually cut it off at 9:30, you know, 9:30, so it's not
fair.
too late. Um, so yeah, it just worked out. But it was nice to not have to pay to practice, you know.
Yeah.
So
So, I mean, you said you were moving to a different spot to record. Um, what kind of led to that move versus just kind of running it back with Steven?
so this person that uh, I want to keep it anonymous because we're gonna eventually announce it, you
For
know.
sure.
So this person actually found us on Instagram,
Okay.
and they're pretty renowned person in the music industry as far as like in the pop punk community, you know.
Sam Pura.
No, no, not that. I'll say I don't want to sound like that's me talking shit. I'm not talking shit. I was
Dude,
not
Sam
like
Pura is the
not Sam
goat,
Pure.
man.
That would be sick. But somebody that we all very much respect. They reached out and they were like, "Yo, like I would love to work with you guys. Like I
Of
love your
course.
sound." And um, obviously we said yes, and we went up there for about 3 days to work on a song that we had already written. So,
Mhm.
you know, they give you the option like, hey, we can help you write a song or we can just kind of produce it. So we were like, well, we kind of want to just keep dead wrong, dead wrong.
Mhm.
But it is cool to have an outside person kind of produce, you know? So
Yeah.
that experience alone was really cool. Um, so yeah, that's kind of how it happened. Just through Instagram, just found you guys, like your stuff. I'm really delving into production now. And I'd love to work with you guys. We set up a meeting in the summer of 2024. Yes, summer 2024. No, 2025. Because we went this January. We went in
Uh-huh.
January.
Okay. I'm gonna play a game here. Geographically, where might this be?
Northeast.
I have an idea, but I'm not gonna say it.
Okay,
I have an idea, I'm not gonna say it.
that's fine.
But, yeah, man,
That's fun.
it's I mean, with the way that you guys are operating, you have your own day-to-day jobs, do you see yourself kind of moving towards, like, EPs? And
Yeah, that kind of seems to be the trend now.
mhm,
So the trend is every 6 to 8 weeks you put out a song. That's
mhm.
like what if you're like a big band, we're still like this is still very much a project that we're doing for fun.
Yep,
We had no idea that it would ever get to this point. Um um and there's still so much room to grow, we're still relatively we're a small band.
of course.
But we're happy where it's at. But yeah, that seems to be the trend. The formula is the formula, if you want to call it that. It was every 6 to 8 weeks you release a song until there's four to six songs out, and then you release an album that has 3 to 5 new songs on it. That seems to be the way that people are doing things now because of how the way the world is, and nobody has any attention span. So
Yeah, of course.
it's not how it used to be.
No,
So
but I mean, I could see you guys with your commitments, and then, money is a thing,
yeah,
producers aren't free, nor is mixing and mastering, that also costs money, and then producing stuff like, physical media. Yeah, maybe an EP comes out 9 to 10 months from now of, like, 3 to 4 songs.
yeah.
Boom.
That's the plan. The plan right now is I mean, from what we've talked about so far, everything changes, things
Yeah, of
change
course.
constantly. I mean, this was supposed to be one song that we did with this producer, and now we're going back for two more. It's like because that we didn't have this plan. It was just as soon as we were done doing it, and I remember we were speaking with their manager, and they were CC'd in the email, and they were like, "Awesome, when are we doing the next one?" And I was like, we didn't really think about the next one. They were like, let's set something up now if you guys want to do this because I'm going to be busy doing these other things.
And his rate will go up.
Right? So we were like it would be kind like sonically speaking, it would be
Mhm,
kind of weird to have one song done by this person. But if we had 3 songs, that's an EP that all sonically sounds the same.
mhm.
So and then after that, if we just went back to doing stuff with Steven, it's like it's not that big of a deal,
Yeah, of course.
because Steven sounds great. And
He
as far as
does.
mixing and mastering, he does all of that. The only thing that we had mastered was our vinyl by somebody else because Steven obviously
Yeah,
he's never had any experience in that realm of things. So, but other than that, it's all Steven, which is
totally.
crazy. Yeah,
I'm wondering, the story so far influence is pretty all over the record, especially
heavy.
when you take a song like Wayside.
Oh,
Is
love
that a
that
band that's
song.
pretty important to you guys?
Very much so.
Mhm.
Um, Steven, I would say very much so as well. Rob's a Story So Far fan, and Dan's a Story So Far fan, but I would say out of all four of us, I tend to be the biggest Story So Far fan. They are my favorite band. Um,
Okay.
and Yellow Card's a big influence as well. I mean, again, grew up in the '90s, early 2000s, so I think I've seen the comments over the years, and I can hear the heavy early 2000s vibe. I'm like, I hear that all the time. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. Like that's how I grew up. Like that's the time frame I grew up listening to music. So, but yeah, the story so far is a heavy influence for me. I don't really scream sing and haven't really sang, but I kind of got into it a couple of years back, like ago, and I wanted to try it out, and I love it. I love the scream singing and the emotion that it brings. I think it helps convey emotion. Um, and I'm all about writing with emotion, writing about real things, um, real problems, real people.
Mhm.
I think that helps translate to like other people's issues that they can relate to. If you kind of get what I'm saying,
Yeah, of course. I mean, the
butchering it a little bit,
album
but
deals a lot with relationships.
yeah,
It's over and over and over again, and, like, are those all personal experiences you've had, or is it, like, more of, like, a combination between you and other guys in the band, or even people that you guys know?
It's all it is it's all personal things of mine.
Okay.
So yeah, I between like friends, and or influenced by other friends, like seeing a friend go through a breakup and like hearing about it and like him cry, like them crying on the phone to me about it, and like just like seeing them process it, or being betrayed by one of my best friends. That was that was a song. Um, but yes, it's all personal things. The first thing I do before writing a song, because we tend to write the music first,
Mhm.
and I still write on paper. Everything's paper.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and I think about what is going on in my life right now, and what do I want to write about, and what does this song make me feel. And I might come up with like one or two topics or three topics, and then I feel out the music. I'm like, okay, what does this music kind of match, the
Mhm.
vibe to? Um, so yeah,
Yeah, so the album title refers, like, kind of the idea of, like, "Hey, is this the extent of it all?"
yeah, that
Let's dive into that a
was
little bit more.
I'd love to. That was it was like 2021 when I
Mhm.
started writing again, and the reason I started writing again is because I kind of quit music.
Mhm.
I was in bands my whole life since I was like 16, 17 when I first learned guitar, and then I just quit music. I was done. I was so burnt out from it because me and Steven were in like a relatively like serious project, like toured multiple times, and like I'm talking like 2 3 week long tours, where we were young dumb kids, and I got fired so many times from so many jobs.
Yep, been there.
Right? So did that for like 4 years, 5 years, and I got so burnt out and I was done with music. And then I just kind of entered the workforce, and like I got a serious job, and I did that for years, and like I just saw other people in my life doing things that they loved still,
Mhm.
and being successful with it. And I was getting jealous about it, if I'm being completely honest. And I just like reflected on my life. I'm like, I quit music. Do I really want to come back to this? And I got so sick of just the 9 to 5. I'm like, and like I was also just struggling a lot mentally back then.
Mhm.
So I was in therapy. First time I ever did therapy. And the song The Extent is from my perspective, sitting in the chair, and I'm talking to a therapist, and she's asking me like what's going on. And that was my whole thing. I was like, is this like the extent of life? Is this
Mhm.
like what it's like? You fucking work 9 to 5, and you have a retirement plan, and like you might get married, you might have kids. I'm like, is this it? Like, this is bullshit. Like, I hate
Mhm.
this, like, and it was just because I was missing that piece, which is music, and I realized through the old band breaking up and through taking like a long hiatus of writing music that I was like, oh no, I need music. I
Mhm.
need that. That's something, there's something I think that everybody needs in their life, but there was a big hole missing. And but yeah, that's why it's called The Extent. And yeah, it was a really tough time in my life that brought me back to music, and that's what made Dead wrong, so I felt like it was an appropriate title for the album. And also it was the second song that Steven and I ever wrote. So I thought that was cool too. I was like, this was a very early on song, like 2021, 22. I think the demos of The Extent and even Jaded are like that old. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
I was chewing on that. I was like, I wonder if he had heard the song by Peggy Lee. It's almost 60 years old at this point. It's called "Is That All There Is?"
Oh, never heard of it. That's
Okay,
awesome though.
so you're gonna first hear the song and you're gonna be like, "What in the world?"
Let's
It's
save it.
more of like a subtle nihilism in a way where it's like she kind of details growing up where it's like being a young kid and then going through a house fire, going to the circus, getting through a heartbreak, and just kind of being disillusioned with it. Like, is that all there is to a house fire?
Yeah.
Is that all there is to the circus?
Wow.
And then, like, she's like, "Well, if everything's so bad, like, why don't you just end it yourself?"
Mm.
Yeah, but then I would just be disappointed with that too.
Yep.
So, like, hey, if, like, if everything is the way that it is, like, why not just kinda have a ball and dance and have a drink and just cut loose? Like, you're gonna hear it and be like, "What in the world?" It's a
It's cool.
very spooky song in, like, the best way.
I love that. I'm definitely gonna
Yeah.
listen to this. I just
Yeah,
saved it.
I wanna
So,
say it's, like 1968, 1969. It charted pretty high up on the charts for like, to a small point, like, top
okay.
10 in the pop.
Wow.
Yeah. But no, it's very, very poignant.
That's awesome. I love that, man. And
Yeah.
I'm an emotional guy, sensitive
Yeah.
guy, so that's how I like to write. So it's cool. I love listening to songs like that that just have kind of a spooky but a real feeling, like just real feelings. Like I feel like a lot of our music out there, and I just feel like a lot of music out there is just kind of not real.
Yeah.
It's just this is what sells, and but that's a big reason why I fell in love with pop punk and emo specifically. Is it's my my parents are when the album came out, the first thing my mom said was, "You can't write anything happy. It's always sad." And like that's how my parents are. They're just very like, it was good, but like it's so sad. Like kind of
Which kind
you know.
of presents a segue into every season, the
Yeah.
acoustic love song on the album.
Yeah, that's about my girlfriend Jenna.
That
So,
I mean, that couldn't have been more obvious.
yeah, we've been together 10 years now. So, it's been awesome. And I know the next question usually to that is, "Where's the ring? Why aren't you married?"
That's I mean, that's a pretty fair question. I mean, 10 years is a long time to date.
Yeah, it's more so, I know when we first started dating, we were both figuring out careers. And again,
Mhm.
I've been at my job 9 years, so I've been with Jenna for 10 years. But I know I had just gotten like let go at my previous job,
Yeah.
and so I know she's currently still trying to figure it out. But also, we very early on talked about like marriage and
Mhm.
kids, and just we don't really care for either one of them. And that's not to say marriage isn't a special thing. I think it's awesome. But if we never got married, we'd be fine.
Mhm.
That's just kind of how we've always been. And I again grew up in a very religious household, so I don't know if that's like a rebellion part in me. I have no idea, but
Maybe.
um, I don't think it is, but I don't think marriage changes people. People are the same person, whether you have a piece of paper or not.
I don't know. I feel like okay, so it's this weird, like, phenomenon where, like, you get married and you kinda just sit it's like something is different. Like, like, it's like you can't get out easily if you wanted to.
That's
And if it
true.
is, it's gonna be very, very expensive and very difficult legally, and it's like it's not fun for anybody.
Yeah.
So,
We
I mean
even talked about that too. Was
yeah.
like if we were to get married, like we talked about like, oh yeah, we would probably sign prenuptial agreements, just like
Mhm.
clean cut. But I mean, even if we did break up or get divorced or anything, I just I know me and Jenna, and I just feel like it would be one of those things where it's like, I love you, but this just isn't working. Like
Yeah.
that's why I've been together 10 years. It just works. So
Yeah, you just gotta run the numbers, baby.
yeah. So yeah, it was I actually felt like bad, and like this wasn't something that she ever made me feel guilty about, but that's kind of where every season came from. I was like, I haven't really written anything for Jenna. I'm a writer. I feel like as a boyfriend I should write something, right? But it wasn't like an obligation. It was also just like I had a moment of appreciation. I was like, my god, she's just so freaking cool about everything. She's so awesome about shows, and right now she's cooking dinner as we're talking right now. And I was like, hey, I gotta run, because we usually cook together. She goes, yeah, go ahead, you're
Okay.
cool. She's freaking amazing, and she's always down, and she's always understanding and always so caring. And yeah, it's just she deserved it. So it was like a surprise kind of in a way. I was gonna wait for the album to be out, but I just couldn't wait. I was like, I want to show you this song, and it was a cool and special moment for both of us. So, um, Yeah, and I love writing love songs. I think it's fun. So it's cool to have like the one acoustic song of the 11 that are on there. You know?
I'm curious. So you could potentially kill it in the wedding industry, though. You could like pull up at
Yeah.
weddings and play like a 3-song set, including this, and bounce.
Right. Yeah.
And that could reroute itself into the dead wrong band fun.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like a lot of wedding bands I've heard they can make bank.
Oh
You know, they can
yeah.
make like 5 to 10 grand at a wedding,
I
which is
mean,
insane.
would you not be happy with 500? Like 500,
Oh
a
yeah,
slice of cake and a high five? Like, I mean,
yeah. I've done a wedding before.
oh,
I've done
then
3.
oh, then you already know the game then. You are good to
Yeah.
go.
The first one was my sister's, so she had me play. It was a Hunter Hayes song,
Interesting.
and I didn't charge my sister. It's my sister, you know.
No, no.
The second one was somebody at church that asked me to play, and I played Boys Like Girls 2 is Better Than One,
Mhm.
and they gave me 1,000. I didn't ask for money. They gave me $1,000 to play one song. Now, I had to drive like 4 hours for the wedding, but it was like $1,000, and I was also like 19 at the time. I was like, "This is
Oh,
awesome!
yeah, man. Like,
$1,000,
I
cool."
was gone the next day.
Yeah. And the third one was actually at my old band with Steven. We did an hour-long set as a full band. I think we played like 25 songs. And it was a family friend of ours, like a family friend of mine that I grew up
Mhm.
with, and his brother was getting married. So he was like, I think he offered like 3 to 4,000. I was like, no.
That's no, thank you.
So he was like, "What about 2,000?" I was like, "No, don't worry. Like we're doing it for free." And he gave us $1,000.
Okay.
So that was cool. But
I'm
yeah.
curious though, like, what does a Dead Wrong live show look like at this point?
Um I mean, we try to bring the energy every show. That's it's a constant conversation in the band. It's what makes a show fun. It's the band like bringing the energy to the show. So um I'm the most limited person on stage because I have to be here on the mic the whole time while
Mhm.
playing bass, and it's frustrating sometimes actually because I just want to. I see Rob, I see Steven, I see Dan like going ham. But yeah, a Dead Wrong show is energy. We're trying to bring the energy, trying to get people riled up, and we encourage crowd surfing. Like I think the first time we ever had somebody crowd surf, Rob went up to the mic and was like, "The first person that crowd surfs gets a free T-shirt." And I think like 4 or 5 people were like, "Shit, all right." So we're just trying to get the crowd like involved and like to loosen up.
Mhm.
Local shows so much it's just people standing there. And so we're trying to get people to realize like, hey, you can have fun. Like have fun. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you look like. Nobody cares how you sound. Scream, have fun, dance. Like, so that's what a Dead Wrong show looks like. It's just us trying to get you to have as much fun as possible.
Do you guys do any covers?
Early on, we did a couple covers. We did I know she's not in the best light right now, but we did a Chapel Roan song.
Okay.
We did Hot to Go. We did like a pop punk version of that. That got a lot of great feedback. People loved it. Um, Not anymore, really. I mean, we did Mr. Brightside one time. That was cool. And we did I don't remember what the other one was. We did another cover. Excuse me. Oh, we did a Newfound Glory cover. And we did
Okay.
Understatement.
Is
Yeah,
there
off of
any
Sticks
others
and
like that
Stones.
might be coming to mind? Like, ooh, I would really like to launch into that, and like it would sound good. People would like it.
There, there's a rift. There's a rift in the band with covers.
Oh
There's
wow.
2 camps people. There's me and Steven versus Rob and Dan. And what those camps are is we should play songs everybody knows. That's me and Steven. That's the point of a cover. You want to play a song that people know and can have sing and have fun to, you know? Rob and Dan are like, fuck that. Let's just play a song that we like, And I'm like, I get that way of thinking. I think that's cool. But the problem is nobody knows the song. You know what I'm saying? At least if people are coming there to see you play live, um, they either have an interest in your band and they know at least one or two of your songs, you know, if that sometimes. Whereas if you're just covering a song that nobody knows by a band that barely made it, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. We actually played Understatement, which is a pretty big song off of Sticks and Stones for Newfound Glory. I think one or two people in the crowd knew it. But when we played Chapel Roan and we played Mr. Brightside, everybody knew it and everybody loved it. So that's kind of why we avoid the covers. I think we're also at that point now where we have enough material out there where we can fill up an entire 30-minute to 40-minute set with original material. So,
I don't know, man. I mean, shout out to Grayscale. That's a
mm-hmm.
band that is just on fire right now.
Played with them years
Yeah.
ago.
One of their kind of highlights of their set is they usually pull out a cover. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they've covered they just recently did Twist and Shout by the Beatles.
Very cool.
They're on tour with the Maine right now.
Insane. Yeah, those boys. Shout out
yeah.
Grayscale. Shout out those guys. Local Philly boys. They're awesome. Good guys too.
They did Panama by Van Halen
Oh
on
wow.
Yeah, dude, and it sounded awesome.
Where was that at?
They played that on the Our Last Night tour.
Oh wow. Okay. Another
And
band that
then
really popped off because of covers, you know?
yeah, and then gosh, they did that song from the I want to say late 90s, She's So High by Tall Bachman.
Yeah. She's so
Yeah,
high.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good one.
Covered that one too. And I was like, Fearless Records,
Right?
answer the phone. This is a good
That's
like
awesome.
do it. Cause yeah, I mean
Yeah.
I would really like to see another Fearless comp come out. Cause it's been a
That would be
while.
cool. Yeah, it
Yeah.
has been a while. Yeah, I feel like that did really well for them.
hmm
So I don't know why they stopped, you know? Hmm.
Yeah. Let's think. Uh no, I know that like Rock Sound at one point was doing like a tribute album as well.
Hmm.
Because there's like there's definitely covers that exist online, most likely only through like YouTube, but like for example, Architects did a cover
Yeah.
of Wait and Bleed by Slipknot
Oh, cool.
that is insane.
Wow.
That might be like 10 years old at this point, but yeah, still, I mean, there's different comps that come out. I mean, Fearless being the most like prominent of sources. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to see another Punk Goes series.
That'd be
But
cool.
yeah, Grayscale would be all over that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, albums out right now. Um, things are kind of picking up. You're recording with an unknown or undisclosed figure in the industry soon. What does the rest of the year look like for you guys? You guys have a fall tour or like fall run that is yet to be announced or
We're working on it. Yeah.
okay.
We are we're trying to run something in September, and if it's not September, we're trying to do it in November. It's hard. You
Mhm.
know,
It
we've
is.
had two or three failed attempts at trying to get something together as a weekender. Whether it's like people are just busy or the bands that we've reached out to aren't free or they are free and then like something changes and like life happens. It's like, oh, okay, it is what it is. You know, there's no hard feelings. It just sucks. It's hard to schedule that shit.
It is.
But shows, we have three awesome shows coming up right now. One April 25th at the Grape Room in Manayunk, which they reopened, which is cool. Cool venue that I feel like everybody knew about in Manayunk, and now it's back and bands are playing there again, so that's pretty fun. But the two shows I'm most excited about are May 16th, which is a benefit show for I guess I could talk about it. Glioblastoma awareness month. It's Go Gray in May. That's actually Rob put the entire show together himself because Rob had a brain tumor that got
Hmm.
removed. So he put this whole benefit show together to raise money for that. So we're all really stoked about that show because it's like some old bands, like old local Philly bands that aren't together and we are like coming back for that show to play, including one of his bands, which like had a lot of cool Philly, cool traction back in the day. They're called Night Trip. So, um, and then obviously June 20th is our album release show. So I'm really excited for that because we'll be playing with Tokyo Rose, some legends, and they're back and they're writing again and putting music out, but they did a lot of really cool stuff back in the day. And then there's a band called the Dead Letters, some younger guys in the pop punk community, but they're up and coming, and they just put out like 2 new songs not too long ago, and they're dope. So we wanted to reach out to them and get them on the show, and they're like from Atlantic City area. But yeah, we have like, I think we're all like booked out between shows and personal things until like September, October. We're like completely booked.
Nice.
So
Okay. So, I mean, I guess to wrap things up, like what does success look like for you and the rest of the band? Is it merely the idea of getting to put out music? Or does it look like, hey, maybe we get offered an opening slot on a national tour that we might take, even if it means we are away from our jobs for a bit? Or does it mean, hey, we're never going to be on the road like that and we're just going to stay in our local area and have a good time? Like, what does that
yeah,
look like for you?
great question. One of the things that I've always talked about since the beginning of this band was, I told Rob, I told Steven, I told Dan, I was like, listen, if you're looking to like tour constantly and like this is like our career, like this is, super serious, like then you don't want to be in this band. This is for fun. The only reason that I think we would ever go on a big tour is if it was too good to be true.
Mhm,
you know? So it'd have to be a really killer tour. Like it'd have to be like, hey, the story so far wants you guys to open up for them for a 2-week run. Like if they might be doing 3 months, but if they asked us to do that, I'd be like, see you later. Like I'm gone. But to answer your question, what does success look like to me? I think it's getting DMs from people like, hey, like this saved my life.
mhm.
Like I was going through a really tough time, and this really helped. I feel like you went into my brain and you knew what I was experiencing. And Dead Wrong has provided that for a lot of people, and it's just super humbling and awesome because I mean, that's probably the greatest thing about music, right? It's that
Mhm.
it brings people together. Um, that's what success looks like to me. And obviously, like having fun. It filled that, like Dead Wrong has filled that like thing that was missing in my life for a long time. So I'm a lot happier of a person now. And so I'm already kind of in my head, I'm like, all right, it's been successful for Matt. For Matt, it's been successful. It's doing what it should be doing. Um, but on like a selfish level, my dream bucket list dream, I just want one of my songs to read 1 million plays. Like that would be so sick to see. Whoa, I think that has that kind of brings off a respect thing. Like, oh, respect. Wow. You
I
got 1 million
mean,
plays on a song.
you're kind of on your way. I mean, Jaded has
Yes.
741K at this point on Spotify.
Yes. And that's just Spotify,
Mhm.
but I do want to see it just on one platform. It just, that'd be Spotify specifically, but
Just for the aesthetic.
yeah, because I mean, else was really cool was the day we released the album on April 3rd. I think it was April 3rd of the next day, but we hit 2 million total streams, like across the board.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
so that was cool on Spotify to see that. We had a lot of really cool things happen that day. It was the 2 million streams thing happened, and the clear vinyl with the red and blue splatter that's sold out the day, like day one, was gone.
Heck yeah. I mean, stuff's
So
translating.
yeah, it's been we're very lucky, we're very blessed, however you want to say it, but and we've all been just having such a good time. Like this has been a fun time for all of us. So Yeah.
Somebody approaches you and like, "Hey, I've never heard of your band before. What is the first song I should check out?"
From a business perspective, I would say Jaded. From a this is my like favorite song, I would say Pieces or The Extent. Those are my
Hmm.
like two of my favorite songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys are available across all social media, most notably like TikTok and Instagram, Dead Wrong PA. Is there
Yeah.
anywhere else I'm missing?
Yeah, I mean, all across all socials, it's Dead Wrong PA. We're on Bandcamp too. Our website is www.deadwrongpa.com. You want to check out our merch. The best thing you can do is listen to our music, obviously. But if you want to throw money our way, that's awesome. Buy some merch. We have a lot of new stuff right now since the album release. So,
And
but yeah,
then
you
you are
nailed it.
available at Matt C. McKay on
Yep,
Instagram.
yep, that's me.
Yep. Okay. Anything else you kind of want to toss in there and plug before we call it?
I just want to say thank you, Jake. That was fun getting to talk to you, and I'm glad that we got to meet.
Yeah, man.
Via Dead Wrong, and I think what you do is pretty cool. So that's why we said yes to this. We're like, yeah, this is sick. Let's do it. So,
Appreciate that.
and thank you to anybody watching this, and thank you for listening. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you.